Hi, everyone. This is Brandy Fox with Be the Entrepreneur, and I want to welcome you to Talk It Out. Good evening, everyone. This is Brandy Fox with Be the Entrepreneur, and we are excited to have another session of Talk It Out, a solution based virtual chat that supporting minority entrepreneurs as they continue to grow their business. Today, I am super pumped because we're talking all about those tax credits. As y'all know, tax season is upon us, and it's a lot of information that we need to know, especially my entrepreneurs. When I was talking to Jennifer earlier, she was dropping some things, some gems on me, a lot of tax credits, a lot of things that are going to be very different this year for entrepreneurs due to COVID, due to entrepreneurs having to take out 401k if you work, entrepreneurs who had to take out unemployment. There are a lot of different credits that you have available to you. And today we're going to talk about them all. There are a total of about 16 tax credits that we are informed about that we plan to share with you today. And I'm excited and happy that you have joined us. If you are not following Be the Entrepreneur, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or you can follow us, subscribe to us on YouTube at Talk It Out. So today we have Jennifer McDuffie with JM Income Tax, and we're going to be talking about tax credits for sole proprietors. So we're going to be talking about tax tips to successfully launching your business, how to get your business ready tax wise. I know taxes can be very frustrating. I know for me, I was just telling Jennifer, like, I was never like, I hated it. I hated accounting. I hated QuickBooks. I hated all that. So for me as an entrepreneur, one of my first goals when I got into a sustainable point in my business was to hire an accountant. And I have an amazing accountant, D. Lindsay at Lynn's Financials. She's amazing. She handles all my business taxes as well as my personal taxes. So if you don't have an accountant and you feel like all of these things are confusing, definitely get you one. And Jennifer McDuffie, that's going to be on here tonight, she is an amazing accountant and she specializes in entrepreneurs. So you're more than welcome to get her information. Don't forget to follow her on Instagram at JM Income Tax. She gives a lot of tips on a daily basis on how you can be tax ready as an entrepreneur. So we'll also be talking about bookkeeping for your business, kind of the best process. Should you have a bookkeeper? Should you do it by yourself? Should you get an accountant or should you have a CPA? The different levels that you have to kind of consider when you're doing all of these things. So we're going to talk about those three type of bookkeeping systems. We're also going to be talking about filing your tax return as a business, especially if this is your first year. We want to make sure that you're knowledgeable about the credits that you can get and what you can write off, what you can get on, what you can't get. We're going to talk about mileage. Should you take pictures of your receipts or should you document your mileage? It all kind of varies and it depends. And we're going to be covering all those things today. And then lastly, we're going to be going over the top 8 tax credits for entrepreneurs. We have a list of 16, but we only can get to 8 tonight. But if you subscribe at betheentrepreneur.com, you will get an email with a full list of all 16 tax credits that you can utilize as an entrepreneur. Lastly, if you're just joining us, please make sure you stay tuned to the end. We end at 7 o'clock, or you can hop back on. I'm going to be doing a free giveaway for 2 30-minute free startup consultation services. I specialize in startup entrepreneurs, helping you streamline your business and get it started step by step. It's a real easy process if you really have somebody to support you and knows how that business startup process works. So a little bit about me. I own Be the Entrepreneur Consulting Agency, and we specialize in strategizing, implementing, and empowering minority entrepreneurs. Some of the programs that we offer, of course, is our How to Start a Business in 30 Days ebook. That is a 8 ebook series that walks you directly through all stages of entrepreneurship from the vision phase all the way into pitching your deck into an investor. All ebooks are digitally fillable. So when you do buy an ebook, you don't have to worry about documenting stuff on another piece of paper or writing it in a Word doc. You can literally complete your business plan and every aspect of your business right in the documentation by typing it in and saving it and doing it at your own pace. Our other services that we are launching in March is our Institute of Entrepreneurship. The Institute of Entrepreneurship is really for entrepreneurs who kind of know what they want to do. They're self starters, but they kind of need a little bit of assistance. Like maybe you're really strong in budgeting, but you don't really know how to do your business plan. So you have the ability to buy the business plan and kind of build your business plan. Or you might be good at branding, but you don't know how to pitch your business. So we have 8 ebooks that you can purchase that has that support in an online support system to kind of get you through that process. Next, my favorite service that I'm super excited about that will be launching March 27th is the Be the Entrepreneur Academy. This is for the entrepreneur who wants to start a business, but they need that one-on-one entrepreneur support. So what that would look like is you would go through all series of entrepreneurship from the vision phase to business analysis to your competitive analysis. We'll help you build a business plan. And for each area, you are matched up with a one-on-one mentor that is an expert in each area. So you will complete a certain set of tasks, and then you will be able to meet with the expert in that area for 60 minutes where you can ask any questions that you have. I'm super excited about the program. It's a 4-month program that gives you everything you need to start your business in only 4 months. It saves you money, it saves you time, and it gives you everything you need to be an entrepreneur. And lastly, what we'll be launching March 27th as well is our Be the Tribe. That's going to be an online hub. It's only $10 a month. And with that, you get unlimited entrepreneur email support. And you have an online system that walks you month through month at your own pace through the entrepreneur system. So it's just like our other services. It's just a little bit slower. And that's what people like, I might want to start a business. I don't know if I want to do it now. But I am interested in learning what it takes to start a business. So all of these programs will be launching in March. If you want additional information, please go to www.betheentrepreneur.com, or you can follow us at b.theentrepreneur.com. So today on Talk It Out, what you can expect is a free Be the Entrepreneur consultation giveaway at the end of the show. That's going to be at about 6:55. We're going to provide organic solution-based discussion. So not only do we talk about what's going on with minorities, we actually give you action-based steps that you can use as an entrepreneur to overcome that barrier. Lastly, we do live Q&A. So if we say anything tax-wise, I know it can be confusing. Do not hesitate to drop your comments in the comment box. We want to answer your questions. We want to make sure that you feel comfortable, and any questions that we can answer, we definitely would do it live. If there's anything that you feel like is more personal, we will be giving out Jennifer's information at the end, so that way you can set up a consultation with her. Like I said, she does specialize in entrepreneur taxes, so she'll be able to answer a lot of those questions that we may not be able to answer online. So without further ado, I want to introduce Jennifer McDuffie. How you doing, girl?
Hey, Brandy. How are you?
I am doing good. Good. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm super excited. Just from what we were talking about pre-show, I am super excited about what you're about to share with everybody because, girl, COVID changed the game up on them, didn't they?
Definitely changed the game. Thank you for having me.
No problem. So one thing I like to do, even though how we met is real random, but what I like to do is I always like to talk about how I met the person that I have online. And for us, it was real simple. Like I was looking for somebody that specialized in entrepreneur taxes, sole proprietors, small businesses, because I realized there were a lot of people, the entrepreneurs that didn't have that support, like H&R Block, those big names. I feel like they're good for employers, but I feel like when it comes to that entrepreneur taxes, you need someone that knows those tax credits to be able to help you and make sure you get the most out of your money.
Definitely.
So what we're going to start with is your quote. Your quote that you gave us for today was, "I will choose faith over fear." Out of all the quotes you thought of, why did that stick out to you?
So for me, in promoting my business, there's always been this aspect of fear. So a few months ago, I was listening to a sermon from Joel Osteen, and the topic was, will you choose faith over fear? So a lot of us, just starting, whenever I did start my business, I had that apprehension of, do I want to go live? We all have this fear of being judged for whatever reason. And then, a few years ago, I made that determination that I will choose faith over fear. I won't be, intimidated by, someone judging me. I'm just going to go out there, step out there, and just try to help individuals, as best I can. So that choosing faith over fear has always stuck with me ever since then. So I just use that quote and apply it to different walks of life.
Girl, I love it. That's key. Entrepreneurship, you need a strong faith base. So, because it's really the unknown. Everything when you go into entrepreneurship, unless you kind of grew up in it, but even to a certain extent, to be a leader and run a company and watch somebody else, it's a whole different level of responsibility. So you always got to have faith in your ability to be able to deliver.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. I love that quote, and I love Joel. He the homie. He get a little country sometimes, but I still be with him. I still be with him. Just so you guys know, please make sure you follow Jennifer. She's on Instagram at JM Income Tax. Like I said, she gives a lot of information for sole proprietors. Excuse me, y'all. For sole proprietors and all that good stuff, and entrepreneurs who are looking to start their business. So the discussion of the evenings are tax tips to successfully launch their business. So I'm going to have you tell us a little bit more about that, Jennifer, and what that looks like.
Sure. Thank you, Brandy. So my name is Jennifer McDuffie, and I am an enroll agent by the IRS. And I specialize in helping small business owners, independent contractors, self-employed individuals pay the least in taxes. Just to give you a little bit about my background, I've worked in corporate America as an accountant for 10 years. I've worked as a contractor to the government, and I've also worked for the government as an accountant. So my background is in accounting. I started off, over 13 years ago, preparing taxes just as like a side gig for family and friends. And then just from word of mouth, my business has blossomed because, of course, one person tells someone else, and then they call you, and then they tell someone else. So it's just been organic growth since then. People always ask me why is it the self-employed community business owners that you work with? So I searched for a niche, and it's almost like this niche came to me. I often get questions from business owners who are just starting out. They're not sure, where to start. They just know they don't want to have to pay, Uncle Sam at the end of the year. So often I find myself, explaining to small business owners, new business owners, how they typically should set their business up, how to implement a sound accounting system, as well as preparing their tax returns. So today, or tonight rather, we're just going to kind of go over those three topics and then give you all some, tax credits that you as individuals or self-employed individuals can take advantage of. So again, I meet individuals, they have great ideas when it comes to starting a business, but they are not sure where to start. So my advice is, always start with your state secretary to launch your business. Basically, go to your state secretary website, apply to start your business, make sure that no one else is using your business name, form your articles of organization, pay whatever state filing fee is, and then you've successfully launched your business. There are companies that do provide this service, and they will charge you a fee to do it. However, if you legitimately want to start a business, I, definitely recommend you can definitely do it yourself, or you can hire a company to do this for you. So you want to have, a unique business name. And like I said, most states do have a filing fee. So check with your specific state to find out what those fees are. They will assist you with filing the organizational documents and just submitting those to the Secretary of State. So after you have successfully applied with the state, you then want to go and get your EIN number from the IRS. So if you're just one person operating your business, then by default, you will be a single member disregarded entity is what it's called, which basically means at the end of the year, you just file a Schedule C with your personal tax return, which will be the profit and loss from your business. However, there are options if you would like to be treated as an S corporation. You can actually, at the time of your EIN application, you could be treated to be taxed as an S corporation or a C corporation. It's just a matter of taking an additional step to make that election. So just for the purposes of this live, we're going to specifically be talking about self-employed individuals where there's just one member in the business. So the next thing is to basically come up with a system to keep track of bookkeeping. Now, a lot of individuals are not sure how do they keep track of bookkeeping. I always encourage business owners to implement some accounting system to be able to track things as well as be prepared for tax season. So I have a set of questions. When I'm working with someone new, I typically will ask them, how profitable is your business? And at that point, a lot of them are not sure. They're not sure how much their business made. How much did their business make for the year? Mm-hmm. So how do you know how profitable you are if you don't have a sound accounting system in place? So I definitely, hone in. I preach to my business owners, make sure you have some accounting system in place so that you can track your revenue, which is all the money coming into your business, as well as your expenses, so that, when it does come time to file your taxes, you're not searching for receipts all over the place at the end of the year, trying to pass over to your accountant.
I remember them days, girl. We had receipts everywhere. They was like growing like trees. I'm like, if I find another receipt up in here.
Right. So, there are a lot of different accounting softwares out there nowadays. It's just a matter of finding a simple program that fits your needs and your budget. So it's fine if you are using Excel sheets, again, which I run across often. But just remember, as your business grows, so should your systems.
Come on, talk about that growth.
Exactly. So yeah, you may choose any record keeping system, suited to your business that clearly shows your income and expenses, because at the end of the year, that's what your accountant or tax preparer will need. They will clearly need to see, how much revenue did your business bring in, as well as the expenses. So, at times, business owners, they don't have time to keep up with the accounting for their business themselves. I get it. You're busy doing whatever it is that you do for your business. You don't have time. So you may want to outsource your accounting work and hire a professional to take care of it for you. Just hire an accountant. So, hiring an accountant might be an extra expense for your business, but it's definitely an expense that will be well worth it in the long run. I mean, less stress. We talked about this earlier, Brandy. Less stress. Your accountant provides financial advice. They're there to support you, and they can save you time and money. They may save you money on deductions that you would
And in
typically
addition to
miss.
that, in time, okay. Are you on there? I'm sorry, I think I lost you for a second.
I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you can go ahead.
Oh, no. Sorry, I lost you. But I was saying, you're so right about the accounting portion because I know for me, everything happened with COVID and like the PPPs, all that stuff, like it felt so good for me not to like it was so many entrepreneurs that were stressed. Even some of my clients, it was like, oh, where can I find this paperwork? They asking for this, where can I get it? So for me to be able to just like go in a folder or just shoot my accountant an email and telling her what they said I need, her to just shoot that right over to me, girl, it was worth everything I pay her every month because it was so many entrepreneurs that were just so stressed because they didn't have any of the information, financial information that they needed to get assistance, not even a PPP loan, but just all the grants and stuff that was out there. They didn't have their basic principles, like even with the latest one, when you had to show like 25% loss between 2019 and 2020, some of my people were struggling. It's like, well, how do I show that? I'm like, well, hey, well, what were your numbers, for 2019? They're like, I don't know. I was like, do you know for the year? They're like, no, quarter, no. I'm like, again, so now, where you normally have somebody support you, now you got to go back and manually calculate this. So, y'all, so an accountant, that extra help, it is an extra expense. But for me, and as an entrepreneur, and like Jennifer said, as you grow, you have to grow your system. So, yes, an extra expense, but don't you want to have that confidence? Don't you want to have that security in knowing that you're talking to an expert to have all your accounting needs in one place?
Right. And I did want to touch on the PPP that you mentioned. So currently there is another round of PPP funds available for small business owners who were affected by COVID. However, again, that challenge is if you didn't have accurate bookkeeping in place to be able to substantiate, that 25% reduction in income, one quarter in 2019 compared to the same quarter in 2020, how can you justify that you qualify for those PPP funds? And, especially in our community, we don't have, a lot of our business owners don't have accountants. They haven't been keeping track of their revenues and expenses. So, if you don't learn anything else from this live tonight, definitely get your bookkeeping in order. Who knows what else is coming down the pike. And in order for you to take advantage of these programs, they want to see documentation. They want to see your profit and loss statement. They want to know how profitable your business is. But if you can't provide that information, then essentially you lose out. And then the PPP, the second round, the application deadline expires on March 31st. So I encourage those who have not taken advantage of the PPP application to definitely, do so. Get with your accountant, get with your tax professional. If you don't have either of those, you can definitely reach out to me and I can assist with that application process.
Don't miss out on that free money. Don't miss out on that free money because y'all know after COVID over, the government ain't giving us nothing.
Right.
Nothing. It's over. Y'all better get what you can. For 2022, exactly. It ain't going to be the same. I'm telling you. It's not going to be the same. So, thank you for sharing those tips, Jennifer. And one thing I wanted you to kind of cover that I get questioned a lot is what is the difference between a CPA and an accountant? I get a lot of clients, they're like, oh, I'm looking for a CPA, or maybe I'm just looking for an accountant. So what is the biggest difference between an accountant and a CPA?
So I'm actually going to throw a third one in there, and that is an EA, which is an enrolled agent. So an accountant, a CPA is an accountant. They're one and the same. So if you're looking for an accountant, if you have a CPA, they are an accountant because the CPA is a certified public accountant. So the other thing that I just mentioned was the enrolled agent. So I am an enrolled agent. And the difference between a CPA and an enrolled agent is that an enrolled agent specializes in taxation. A CPA, a lot of CPAs do specialize in taxation, but all of them do not specialize in taxation. Also, a CPA can only practice in the state where they are certified. An enrolled agent is a federal, license where you can practice before the IRS across the United States, and it doesn't matter what state your client lives in. So oftentimes you'll hear people say, "Oh, I need a CPA," because that's just the terminology that they're used to hearing, not knowing exactly what a CPA does. You can contact a CPA, but a lot of them may not specialize in taxation. So if you're looking for someone that specializes in taxation, you may want to verify with that particular CPA whether or not they specialize in taxes, because accounting is a huge world. Taxation is just one component of accounting. It's similar to going to, a doctor, for instance. Physical general physician specializes in everything. However, if you're having heart issues, you want to go see a cardiologist. You want to go see someone who specializes in the issue that you're having. So just to kind of put that out there, if you are looking for someone who specializes in taxation, an enroll agent, that's what they do. However, if you do go to a CPA, just make sure that they do specialize in taxation.
I learned something new because I've never heard of an enroll agent. So that was good to know. And I didn't know that everybody doesn't do taxes. Like I thought if you were an accountant or CPA, I really honestly thought that taxes kind of fall into it. But it makes sense that everybody kind of has their niche just like any other field.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I hope that clarified any questions that anybody has. Please, if you are watching live, I know we're covering a lot of information. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop it in the box. Myself and Jennifer are here to answer any of your tax questions that you have. If they're more personal and you want to connect with Jennifer on your own, please make sure you follow her on Instagram at JM Income Tax. Shoot her a DM. Set up a consultation so she can help you out with some of these tax questions that you might not want to share live, which is cool. So rolling right along. So let's say you are trying to go ahead and start your business, bookkeeping in place. What does bookkeeping for your business look like? How do you suggest somebody getting that rolling?
Okay, perfect. So I get that question often, and it really depends on the size of your business. So I recommend to a lot of my clients QuickBooks because of its ease of use. A lot of my clients may not necessarily want to do their own bookkeeping, so they will outsource it to me, which is perfectly fine. However, within QuickBooks, for instance, there are different subscriptions depending on what type of, accounting services that you need. For instance, if you are just looking for, bank reconciliations, categorizing your daily activities, there's a subscription just for that. However, if you have employees, then you need to add on some type of payroll service to ensure that your employees are, being paid adequately, and then you as the employer are paying your payroll taxes to the IRS. So it really depends on, number one, how your business is set up, and then the needs of your particular business. So it just, depends on each business itself.
Right, that makes sense because what's needed for me as a massage, like even with my massage business, Pamper Us and Be the Entrepreneur, those needs are totally different. So I definitely agree with that. So let's talk about the filing the tax returns for your business. I know you said earlier that this year has been a crazy year thus far, just because there's been so many tax changes with the effects of COVID. So I would just love for you to kind of go over that, just kind of overall what that looks like.
Okay, no problem. So again, it depends on, what type of business entity you're set up as far as your tax filing requirements. So we'll just talk specifically about our sole proprietors. So as a sole proprietor, you are required to file a Schedule C, which you will attach to your individual tax return, the 1040. So, according to the IRS, if your net earnings from your self employment business are at least $400, then you're required to file that Schedule C. So a lot of, self-employed individuals are considered independent contractors, which means they do work for another company. So that other company will typically issue you as the business owner a 1099. So this year, you will be issued a 1099 NEC, non-employee compensation form. Prior years, it's been a 1099 miscellaneous form. So that's something new for 2020. If you do perform services, for another company, then they'll issue you a 1099 NEC. Well, you should have received it by now because they were to issue them by February 1st, 2020. So what you would do with that 1099 is use that document to essentially prepare your tax returns. However, a lot of individuals that are self-employed, they may not have received a 1099. So you would have to rely on, again, your accounting system, which will let you know how much revenue your business brought in for 2020. And then I also want to stress, having documentation, the importance of
Come
documentation,
on.
because this year the IRS has announced that they are ramping up audits on sole proprietors and small businesses by at least 50%. So again,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have your documentation in order and you're under audit, it won't be a good look. So a lot of times people always ask me, well, what type of documentation should I keep? What type of record should I keep? So I will tell them receipts, invoices, canceled checks, bank account statements, bills, because the responsibility to prove these entries, these deductions on your tax return lies with you, the business owner. So just imagine that your tax return has been pulled for an audit because the IRS randomly selects businesses to be audited. If you had to prove to the IRS, an expense that you claimed on your tax return, you want to be able to, without a shadow of a doubt, prove to them that this expense did incur. And how do you do that? A lot of people may say, well, I can just provide my bank statement. Well, if your bank statement just says Walmart transaction on there, how does the IRS know you didn't go buy a TV from Walmart? So that's where those receipts will come in, because it actually will itemize the purchase that you made. If you did go to Walmart and you had to legitimately, purchase supplies for the business. So, documentation is definitely important when it comes to preparing your tax return. I definitely want to stress that. Please keep your documentation. So going back to preparing the taxes, again, if you're a small business owner, you're a sole proprietor, you will attach Schedule C, which shows the profit and loss from your business. As a sole proprietor, you will also pay self-employment tax, which covers the amount you owe for Social Security and Medicare taxes for the year. So that's kind of a shocker sometimes when I talk to my business owners, because they're like, why do I pay, Social Security and Medicare taxes? So I would say, think of it like this. If you work for an employer and you look at your paycheck stub and you see like FICA taxes coming out, or you look at your W-2 at the end of the year, you will see Medicare and Social Security, coming out of your paycheck. However, if you're self-employed, you're responsible for paying into Social Security and Medicare yourself. Typically, as an employee of a company, your job will pay half of the Social Security, and you, as the employee, will pay the other half. Again, as a self-employed individual, you're responsible for 100% of self-employment tax. And that self-employment tax is typically 15.3%.
Hmm.
Right. And then one other note when it comes to filing your taxes, if you expect to owe, $1,000 or more in taxes when you file your tax return, you'll have to make estimated quarterly tax payments. So what does that mean? Every quarter, you're supposed to send in a portion of your tax liability to the IRS, and that is considered an estimated quarterly tax payment. Otherwise, the IRS could hit you with an underpayment tax penalty when you file your tax return. And then, people typically ask, well, golly, I'm getting hit with, self-employment tax. I got to pay quarterly taxes. Well, what is the benefit of being self-employed? And that's actually a great question. And being self-employed means that you actually get to take deductions that, a regular individual may not be able to take. So you have more deductions that you're able to use to offset that self-employed income. And, as Brandy mentioned, we do have a list of those particular deductions that you could use toward that self-employed income for 2020.
Right. Thank you for sharing that. I want to, while we've got a quick break, I want to go into a few questions that we have.
Okay.
I'm excited. So the first question we have is from Shanae. I hope I'm saying it right. But she said, I just filed my LLC in December 2020. Would she still file a Schedule C?
Yes. So if you file your LLC, you received your EIN number, then you're official. You have a business. If you operated your business and you received, revenue, you had sales, you had expenses, then definitely you want to file a Schedule C with your tax return for 2020.
Thank you. All right. So our next question is from Kendia. So she was saying, I know for a fact that I've misplaced some receipts this year. On my Schedule C, I have only claimed and deducted what I have documentation for. Is that cool?
Definitely, yes. However, you can still use, as the previous, participant said, they have, a separate bank account for their business, which I also want to advise all business owners. Please, oh, please make sure you separate your personal expenses from your business expenses, if that means going to open up a bank account specifically for your business. So if you have misplaced some receipts, it's okay. I would employ you to just pull your bank statements. And, if you often, go to Amazon to purchase supplies for your business, then every time you see an Amazon charge on your bank statement, then you could categorize that as supply. And you want to just, keep track of your bank statements. Although you may have misplaced some of your receipts, you could still use your bank statement as proof that you did incur that expense. So yes, to answer that question.
Thank you. And what I want to go over to for you guys, I know a lot of people ask about how to open a business bank account. So it's really simple. I know for me, I bank with BB&T. I love them. They are amazing. They really are down for their small businesses. So that's just a little baby plug. But how to open a business account? Number one, you have to register your business. I can't speak for all states, but I know North Carolina. So for North Carolina, you have to register your business in your county. The good thing about now, what they've changed is if you do businesses in different counties, you don't have to apply in each county. Now, when you register your business, you have the opportunity to register for all 100 counties in North Carolina. So you can knock it out with one application. Also, I'm not sure if you know that in North Carolina, if you register your business before 2017, they are requiring you to re-register your business to hold your business name. So if you have registered your business before 2017 and you haven't re-registered, you need to re-register, and you can do that through the Register of Deeds page. If you have not registered and you need help, please feel free to hit me up at betheentrepreneur.com, and I'll be happy to get you set up with that. But if you want to learn more about that, you can go to the Mecklenburg County Register of Deeds website, and they have a huge banner letting you know that if you register your business before 2017, you need to re-register it. In addition, you want to obtain your tax EIN number from the IRS. Please make sure, you guys, this is free. Now, when I was looking it up and working with some clients, if you just type it into Google, there are some spam ones that's going to tell you you need to pay a specific number. And I've had clients that come back to me like, hey, I was about to get my tax EIN, but I saw it was this much, so I'm going to wait. And I'm like, nah, that should be free. So make sure when you're looking it up, make sure that whatever website you on, it should actually, I'm going to pull it up for y'all, but it should say .gov. If it does not end in .gov, then it is not the legit site for you to get your tax EIN number. It's free and you get it immediately. As soon as they give you your tax EIN number, I always tell my clients to write it down somewhere. Everybody should have a business accordion folder or notebook that you keep all your business documents in, personal documents, so that way if anything happens, fires, anything like that, you have all your emergency documents in one area, so that way you can grab it, roll out. In addition, you can also download it and put it in your cloud. I always tell my clients you should have some type of cloud system for your documents, organize your business. So you should have a financial folder in there. So that tax EIN PDF that you get, just download that, drop that right into your finance folder, so that way you'll have access to it. Because I lost mine one time, and I had to wait on that line for that IRS to get that number, and I was so mad because you can't press it online. You have to wait on to get the tax EIN number back again. So make sure you keep it somewhere you don't forget. And third, research the best business bank for you. That's really important. Each bank has different needs. Everyone has a different area. So just make sure you have one that meets your needs. Most of the time, you can start a basic business account for only $50. So if you have $50, when you start getting some money and you get that $50, go ahead and open that business bank account. So that way you won't have to worry about separating anything. When it's time for tax time, you can pull your business financials and know that everything on there is business related. So I have another question for you, Jennifer.
Okay.
How do you go about getting the estimate? So I guess when you are doing the business account for estimating your sales or taxes, how do you go about doing that? Yeah.
Okay. So typically, when you are first starting out, I run across a lot of businesses that take a loss. So when you're, your first couple of years, you're trying to get your business established, you're purchasing, different things for the business, your expenses are more than the revenue. So so the first few years, honestly, just from experience, you probably may not worry about having to pay taxes because your business has taken a loss. However, as your business does start to generate revenue, you want to get with your tax preparer or your accountant to basically look at your quarter's revenue. So if you have income from a particular quarter, they can kind of project where you're laying for the end of the year. And then basically based off of that and your personal tax situation, whether or not you're going to be claiming, kids on your tax return or what other tax documents you may have, they could come up with a projection as far as, what to expect for your tax liability and use that to send in those quarterly estimated payments. But as a new business owner, I would say that you probably will end up taking a loss maybe the first year or two. So in that case, you wouldn't have a requirement to file those quarterly taxes because you didn't generate, revenue to have a revenue income for your business.
Let me know, Janae, if that answers your question. I hope it did. But if you're looking specifically for forecasting, I do have an ebook available. It's called Budgeting Top 10 Budgeting Templates for Any Business. And one of the templates that we do have in there is a forecasting budget. So basically, you kind of put in your numbers and it'll do all the rest of it for you. In addition, there's a startup budget in there. So if you want to get a budget together on what it's going to cost for you to grow or expand your business, you can complete this template and it's all digitally fillable. And like I said, it's automatically calculated. So when you put in your numbers, it's going to calculate those numbers out for you. So I did drop the link at the bottom. If you go to my digital store, it is available for download. And I think that's going to help you get a lot of those startup accounting needs done. Before we roll forward, as promised, I wanted you guys to see. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go full screen for y'all. I want y'all to see. This is the website. When you get your tax EIN number, if it does not have the IRS icon in the top corner, if it does not have this right here, apply for an employee identification number online, you are on the wrong site. It should look exactly like this. You literally go right here. You click apply now. It takes about 5 minutes and you knock it out. So if you're on any other site when you're doing your tax EIN, you're on the wrong site. Just go to irs.gov and they'll get you what you need. I just want to make sure I share that because don't nothing fire me up more than when somebody gets scammed. That thing made me mad. Because they take advantage of, especially new aspiring entrepreneurs, they're excited. So, they're kind of prepared to spend money. You know what I'm saying? So take advantage of that. So I just want to make sure y'all know what to look for when you get your tax EIN number.
Yes.
So as we kind of roll out to our last question, Jennifer, I want to talk about, and you can give your top, some of those top credit, tax credit tips that you would suggest for new and aspiring entrepreneurs.
Okay. So quickly, I want to talk about, when you do go to get your taxes prepared, just make sure that you are checking your tax preparer's history. Ask if they offer electronic filing. Make sure the tax preparer is accessible not only during tax season, but also outside of tax season, because there are what the IRS calls ghost tax preparers. Essentially, they will get missing after they prepare your taxes. And if you receive a letter from the IRS and you try to reach out to those individuals, they are nowhere to be found.
I've heard of it. It's real. It's real.
They are nowhere to be found. So make sure you can actually go on the IRS and check the tax preparer's qualifications. Make sure they have a valid preparer tax identification number and it is in good standing. And that's something, anyone can do online at the IRS website.
And you said they can check the accountants and what's it called?
To check the preparer's tax preparer identification number, you just go to the IRS website and type in the search field, check P10 PTIN number. for my tax preparer, and you can actually pull up their information to make sure that their account is in good standing. That way, you're dealing with someone who is reputable as far as a tax preparer.
Thank you for sharing that. I didn't even know that you can look that up. That you can look up somebody and see if they like legit. God,
Absolutely.
thank you, Lord, that I've just found mine and she was legit because I did not know.
Yep.
Okay, so perfect. Go ahead, lay them out, girl. I'm ready. What else you got?
And just another side nugget, that tax preparer should sign the tax return and include their tax preparer identification number whenever they complete your taxes. So, a red flag if your tax preparer, for whatever reason, doesn't want to sign your tax return or put their P10 number on there, lets you know that something may not be right with them. So, just a few helpful tips for the taxpayers and small business owners out there. Now, as far as those tax credits, I do want to touch base on some new tax credits that are available in 2020. The first one is a credit for sick leave and family leave, specifically for self-employed individuals. So what is that all about? So if you, as a self-employed individual, was out of work due to COVID, meaning you had COVID yourself, or if you were out of work taking care of someone who had COVID, or if you had to miss work because your kids were out of school, you could possibly qualify for this credit for sick leave and family leave. There are a few other, stipulations, and I would advise you to speak with your tax preparer to inquire as to whether or not you could take advantage, because there is a refundable credit that could land you, upwards to like $10,000, $10 to $15,000 as far as a refund if you do qualify. And then, of course, you had to be out for a certain number of days, and then you have to have documentation. If you did have COVID, of course, you would have some letter from the doctor or what have you, where you had to stay out of work or you had to quarantine if you thought you had COVID symptoms. So just something, to talk to your tax preparer about if you feel like you may qualify for that particular credit. Another thing that, me and Brandy talked about was unemployment. So this year, a record number of people were on unemployment. And just remember that when you do file your taxes, that unemployment is still considered taxable income. So do not forget, please, oh please, do not forget to print off your 1099-G. A lot of the states do make it available online where you can just go to your, portal, download the statement, and just give it to your tax preparer, or they may send it in the mail. However, please do not forget to include that income on your tax return. Otherwise, you'll get a letter from the IRS.
They're going to get their money.
Exactly. It is definitely considered taxable. However, there are some states that are implementing new, tax rules where they are not taxing the unemployment. So you also want to check with your state to see whether or not it's taxable for state purposes. Another item is the 401k distributions. A lot of individuals who were impacted by COVID, they took a distribution from their 401k last year to help cover, expenses. And just so that you are aware, the IRS has waived the 10% penalty that you would typically receive if you took money from your 401k before a particular age. And you also have the ability to spread that income out over 3 years, which means you have 3 years to pay the taxes on that retirement income. So just something else to ask your tax preparer about if you did take a distribution from your retirement account. And then moving on to, deductions that you can take advantage of as a sole proprietor. According to the IRS, if your expenses for your business are 2 words, ordinary and necessary, then you can deduct certain things off of your self-employed income.
And you said,
So,
I'm sorry, ordinary, and what was the other word?
necessary.
Got you.
So, if it's ordinary for someone doing the particular job that you do, and it is necessary for the particular job that you do, then it will be considered as a tax deduction. And then we have a few that we want to share. I know with social media age, a lot of business owners are, promoting their business via social media, which they pay for advertising, which is a huge one. So if you are one of those business owners who has paid for, to boost your post or any type of social media advertising, you can definitely take advantage of that deduction. You just want to make sure you capture, you have documentation again for those advertising expenses, whether it's via social media or if you have business cards printed out, flyers, banners, what have you, that is considered a business deduction. Another one, business meals. So, due to COVID last year, the IRS has actually typically 50% of your business meals would be considered deductible. But because the restaurant industry took a huge hit because of COVID, the IRS for the next 2 years has upped it to 100%
Come
of business.
on.
Yes, 100% of
Girl be
business
eating.
meals are deductible on your taxes. Again, the business meals, of course, has to be related to your business. So whether or not you're traveling and you stop and get something to eat, or if you take a client out to dinner or what have you, then that would be considered a business deduction. Business insurance. So whether if you have liability insurance, for tax preparers, we have error and omission insurance that we pay for. Really, any type of insurance specific to your business, you want to keep track because that is a business deduction. Interest, a lot of the banks do charge interest and fees, monthly fees for having your business account established. Keep track, again, business deduction. If you use your vehicle in your business, so a lot of individuals have to travel. They may travel from one client to another client. You also want to keep track of the mileage, because for business purposes, you can either deduct your actual expenses, which is gas, tolls, parking, or you can take what is called the standard mileage rate. So every year, the IRS comes out with a rate that you can apply to your mileage. However, you must have kept track of how many miles you've traveled to see which option is better as far as the deduction. So if you traveled more miles, then typically the mileage deduction would be more beneficial to the business. Contract labor. So if you had to hire someone to do a service for you as a business, that is considered a tax deduction. For instance, a lot of business owners go to Fiverr to get a business logo or to get, their social media, Facebook cover created through someone else. So that's considered contract labor. So you paid someone else to perform a service for you, and that will actually count towards a deduction for your business. And then another one I'll just quickly talk about is the home office deduction. So if you operate a business from your home and that space is exclusively used for your business, you can actually deduct that portion of your home as a business expense. So the IRS has like a safe harbor rule as far as deducting the expenses, or you can actually take the actual, so you can do like a $5 per square foot deduction, or you can actually take the measurements and then for, if you have utilities, let's say cable, lights, as far as like getting your yard, as far as someone cutting your grass, then you can definitely take the portion of your home and apply that business to a business deduction. So yeah, like Brandy mentioned, there are quite a few others, and I definitely encourage you to reach out to your tax preparer to ensure that you are taking advantage of all of these lovely tax deductions.
Yes, and we had a question, Jennifer. Girl, you dropped the gems. I was over here typing, girl, for like I was back in college, girl. My little thing was over here clank, clank, clanking. I wanted to catch everything. You gave some great, great, great tips, y'all. Please, if you are not connected, JM Income Tax.
Yep, on Instagram.
On
Yep.
Instagram at J. I'm gonna put it down here. Please, if
Okay.
you are a independent contractor, JM Income Tax. You are a independent contractor and you are looking for more assistance, you want to know, because she's just dropping a few of the tax credits that she knows about, but there are so many more, and she would definitely love to connect with you to kind of help you out with that. But we had a question. So for the contractor portion, how would they go as far as deduction? Because she paid everything from her personal account.
Oh, okay. So they don't have a separate business bank account. So for those individuals that still commingle, is what I call it. You commingle your personal and your business. I mean, you literally will have to sit down and print off those bank statements and, essentially go line by line to try to identify what expenses are personal and what expenses are for the business. And if it's your first year, now okay, I need to separate my personal from my business, because it is going to be a lot of work to go backwards to try to recreate, where did these expenses, what expenses did I have, where did they come from? Just trying to identify which one was personal, which one was for the business. So yeah, you essentially are just going to have to kind of go through all your bank statements and just look at the different vendors to see if you can identify what transactions pertain to your business. If you have invoices from, if you have a website that you have and you have invoices, then you can definitely use that to substantiate your business expense. Just looking through your emails, if you're on some type of auto pay, and if you receive receipts, invoices, emails, you're going to have to do some digging, basically. It's going to be hard, but it definitely is something that you're going to have to do. However, moving forward, now that you know, you definitely want to separate the two.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much, Jennifer, for coming on today. This was really, 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 really good, girl. I learned some stuff. People are really excited. They learned some stuff. And I hope you guys know, step one, register your business, get a tax IN, get a business bank account. You got to separate it. You can't be out here co-mingling. So in closing, I wanted to go over, if you have not subscribed, please make sure you go to www.betheentrepreneur.com and subscribe. When you subscribe, you get our straight to the market checklist, basically 8 steps to help you test your new business idea. So this is perfect for if you're an entrepreneur, you like, you know what, I really want to do this, or I really want to do that, and you want to know if it's feasible. All you have to do is subscribe when you get to the page, and you'll get a whole little checklist that'll give you 8 different ways that you can test your product before you waste time, money, sleep, and a lot of other stuff trying to get a business going. It might not be the right business for the market right now. So what we have last is our Talk It Out giveaway. So basically what this looks like is all you have to do is go to my Instagram at b.theentrepreneur and share any post to your story or to your page. Tag Be the Entrepreneur in it. And we are giving away 2 free consultations, 30-minute consultations to the first 2 entrepreneurs who share anything on our page. It's that simple. We've had some amazing people that have won in the past, and I'm excited that about 3/4 of them have transitioned into ongoing Be the Entrepreneur clients. In that 30 minutes, we're able to cover so much information. So, like I said, if you want a free consultation session, if you're thinking about starting a business, if you're thinking about quitting your job and going full time, if you're a dual entrepreneur and you're balancing both, or if you're just retired and you're thinking about entrepreneurship, those are my specialties. I would love to connect with you, and you can get a free session just by sharing anything on my Instagram at b.theentrepreneur.com. So in closing, I want to say another thank you to Jennifer for coming on today. And guys, if you are a independent contractor, business owner, please connect with her. I want to make sure y'all getting all these tax breaks that she's offering. You can follow her on Instagram at JM Income Tax. Is there anything you want to share for the people before we close out today, Miss Jennifer?
Just one other thing. So I do offer a free 15-minute tax consultation for anyone who is interested, or if you have a couple of questions that you have follow up to this this live tonight. If you go to my website, jmincometax.com, and click on Contact Us, there is a button to schedule your free 15-minute consultation. And again, that's just to see if you have any questions or if you want assistance with accounting, bookkeeping, or tax preparation. Feel free to reach out. And thank you again so much, Brandy, for the opportunity. I very much appreciate it.
Thank you too, girl. Me too. I'm excited. So everybody, you have a great rest of the evening. We'll be back in 2 weeks for our next Talk It Out. We're going to be, y'all, I'm really crump about this because this is literally like my goal in life. We're going to be talking about the 8 streams of income and how you can get access to those 8 streams of income. Basically, how you can set up your lifestyle to kind of knock out each stream of income. See, I can't even talk. I'm so excited. So make sure y'all stay tuned. You can go to our website at betheentrepreneur.com. If you click on the calendar link, you will see the calendar for it. You can go ahead and register for it, so that way you'll get a reminder. But we're going to be talking about how to get those 8 streams of income, which is what's necessary for us to become millionaires. And I know y'all want to be a millionaire because I want to be a millionaire and ball out. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of the night. Thank you for joining us at Be the Entrepreneur. Night.
Bye.